My name is Tarani Chandola. I'm the head of social statistics at the University of Manchester. The reason why there's such a great need for more people trained in quantitative data in the social sciences is because there's such a huge demand for such people in the workforce today. The CBI, that's the Confederation of British Industries, has come up with a figure of over 55% of the workforce that is not able to handle quantitative and numerical data. And that's such a big gap in the skills gap of the workforce today. Other agencies like McKinsey have also come up with an estimate of around 1.5 to 2 million managers and professionals. Remember, these are just managers and professionals that are not quantitatively skilled. And there's a big worry by the employers that the workforce are not up to scratch in terms of dealing with statistical and numerical inquiries. This skills gap is one of the big reasons why there's such a demand for quantitatively trained employees and workforce. And we feel that these kinds of quantitative methods modules that are being introduced in social science degrees now really help the student achieve that level of training that's required by employers nowadays. Apart from the skills gap and the need for more quantitatively minded and skilled workforce, there is another very good reason for why students should engage in quantitative and statistical material. And that's because it's really satisfying to see students learn and get it. You can really actually watch the penny drop when students finally get an understanding of what a particular statistical method does, or why they should be doing a particular method in one way or another. And I know it's tough, but very often when the students get it, they're so happy and they're satisfied that they've understood a really tough concept and they can apply a really tough concept. That it's really gratifying to see that entire range of learning visible when you teach something like quantitative methods. There are several online resources now available to teachers of quantitative methods in the social sciences. This wasn't the case several years ago, but in the last 2 or 3 years, there really has been an explosion in very useful content that has been explicitly developed for teachers of quantitative materials, and also easy packages. And these are not packages that require a high degree of statistical knowledge in delivering this kind of training. These packages have been explicitly designed so that teachers of these quantitative materials don't have to be high-level statistical thinkers themselves. The very first one that I'm going to mention is a very comprehensive website that is www.quantitativemethods.ac.uk. This is a teaching resource that is actively maintained by ESRC Resources, and it is updated and very, very comprehensive. On that particular resource, you will find a high level of very different types of resources. For example, if you're interested in a complete online data management and data training module, you'll find several very good examples of complete online data training modules on that website. You'll also find very specific training resources for specific methods, for example, longitudinal data analysis or multi-level analysis. You'll find links to very good standalone research training, quantitative methods research training packages like that. You'll also find very active links to active discussion blogs and web links that for discussions that are really very useful for teachers and students of quantitative methods. So if you've got a particular question to ask about, say, the interpretation of an odds ratio or p-values, you can use those discussion logs to ask these questions, and very often you'll have somebody very helpful come along to answer your questions. Finally, there are funny videos. And funny videos are often really, really useful in teaching statistics. It really helps the student to understand and bring alive the concepts of many statistical tests. In addition, there are the teaching resources by the UK Data Service, and these teaching resources have been developed explicitly with disseminating the archived materials, archived data sets in the UK data sets, and these are very useful teaching materials again for international and government data archived in the UK Data Service. And finally, we've all the materials from this this training here at CCSR will be available on the CCSR SDED website. One of the biggest uses of learning quantitative methods that teachers can sell to their students is that it's going to be the sexiest occupations of this century. These are not my words, and it's not quite usual to describe sexy statisticians in terms of being sexy, but these are actually the words of Hal Valerian, who is the chief economist of Google. And he's identified that statisticians and data analysts are really going to be the key occupations of this century, because the huge amounts of data that are being generated by corporations, by public organizations, and these huge amounts of data that are being generated require really good analysts, really good data analysts, and there is such a shortage of good data analysts. And that's because most university programs in the social sciences don't really train students to handle quantitative data. The list of occupations that require quantitatively skilled people is very long, and that includes the usual suspects, such as social statisticians and market research organizations. But you might be surprised to find out that many other occupations really benefit from people who are quantitatively trained and skilled. And these include professions in the media, professions in politics and lobbying, for example. And there is a very good compilation of different occupations and professions that could benefit from quantitatively skilled people. This has been compiled by the British Academy in their document called Stand and Be Counted. And it has excellent examples from people working in different industries on how being trained in statistics and quantitative methods has helped them advance their career.